doilies and petits fours, glitter and frilly drawers. Fancy that. Pink roses in a vase, tea parties, hats and lace. Fancy that.
Hello, and welcome to Fancy That. Does your husband wait to the last minute to pay the electric bill, just to show those bastards who's boss?
I'll show those bastards who's boss.
And then forgets?
Shit.
Welcome to my world. And this edition of candle making for husband-inflicted emergency purposes. You're probably wondering why I don't use battery-operated candles. Surely you jest. My husband, without authorization, uses all of those batteries out of those candles for his remote controls. All you need is beeswax sheets in various colors, preferably pink, braided waxy wicks, and scissors. If you don't have your own apiary, you can purchase beeswax sheets at your local candle store. I won't judge you much. These stores aren't always in the best neighborhoods because they need a lot of space to store stuff and to release toxic chemicals in the air. Ours is next to the pet crematorium.
R.I.P. Fifi.
So as not to risk damage to my vintage Mercedes-Benz or myself, I asked a friend who is not in my tax bracket to drive me in her 2004 sedan. Be aware that people, and I use that term lightly, who work in these establishments are simply there for the employee discount.
A nickel is a nickel.
I asked the witch behind the counter, who could scare the feathers off a chicken with her evil eye and spiderweb tattoo, to direct me to the wick section, and she replied, "No submet advenit intrinum."
That frightened my hair straight.
I still recall enough of my high school Latin to know that that meant they were out. But I'm not sure if she also cast a spell on me. I gathered up a few dozen candlesticks while my friend ran to the car, and I got the hell out of there. I would have called first, but people seem so terrified of answering the phone these days.
My excuse is that I have no arms.
Start by carefully turning up one side of the beeswax sheet and tucking the wick tightly against it. Then carefully roll up the beeswax, applying even pressure and using your body heat to soften the wax. It's kind of like rolling a cigar.
When did you ever roll a cigar?
I've been wearing gloves since I was 4 years old. I rarely wear fingerless gloves, but desperate times call for desperate measures. My gloves were simply too efficient at keeping my body heat in. You know, it's kind of like rolling a cigar. Just keep rolling. Slow and steady. Carefully keep rolling. You know, this is a lot like rolling a cigar. Once you finish rolling, grab your lighter and melt the seam into the candle itself. Carefully. Slightly squish the edges together. Cut the wick flush on one side of the candle and just enough to light the candle on the other. And voila, a candle. Some people might be tempted to make shapes out of the beeswax and place them on the candle. That's tacky. And besides, I have to go as fast as I can and make as many as I can. Thanks for joining me today. And remember, keep it fancy.
Doilies and petit fours, glitter and frilly drawers. Fancy that. Pink roses in a vase, tea parties, hats and lace. Fancy